Well, hot dog, that was a lot of news. Welcome to the Break Room Arcade, guys. We got a lot to talk about. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee are coming to Nintendo Switch in November 16th, 2018. And pretty much all of the rumors, all of them, it was all true. All of it. For the most part. Yeah, so Dream Drop Sora mentioned to me before the show started that I should point out that the leaker who leaked all this information on 4chan on April the 1st was believed by nobody until like a month later. So congrats to that leaker who was being 100% truthful and just picked April 1st.
The worst day. The worst day to make that announcement.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how that all turns out. It's like I was reminded that like the Nintendo Switch presentation from January a couple years ago, it all got leaked like 4 hours before the event started and nobody believed the guy. He leaked ARMS, a bunch of the games. Welcome Ace to the chat. Welcome Dream Drop Sora. So just to kick things off, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. What are just your initial impressions to those games?
We don't want to talk about Pokemon Quest.
We'll get to that.
Well, so far, I'm pretty blown away by it. Like it's kind of visually what I want to see, and a lot of the mechanics that I'm seeing there, I also really dig. The trailer itself just kind of felt a little less like produced, and I really enjoy that. I felt like it served this type of game really well. Mm-hmm. It felt kind of like they got a small group of people together and they're like, hey, we're just going to throw this video together real quick. Make it feel like you're actually like at your friend's house playing, or getting ready to play Pokemon with them.
And what about you, Logan?
Well, I think one of the big questions I had before I had even seen it was, what is this game, and I think my understanding was that it was a mainline Pokemon game, but there was a lot of differences and I wasn't so sure about it. So I think them coming out and saying like, guys, this really isn't like a core Pokemon title, It looks like Pokemon, it plays like Pokemon in a lot of ways, but it's not actually the Pokemon title you're looking for. But it's in the works and it's coming in 2019, So I think now that I kind of know what it is, I feel a lot more at ease about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Knowing that, and also knowing that they're going to have like that much more time, just, hey, man, we're just going to keep developing this one title. That brings me a lot of confidence that they actually gave themselves time, but they're still like filling the gap with these kind of experiences.
And for those of you who don't know, they already confirmed that the next, I guess it's probably just the next generation of Pokemon is coming in 2019 in the second half, probably in November. So we're getting a lot of Pokemon here in the next year and a half.
And we got some now. We got some now with Pokemon Quest.
We did. It's out today on the eShop, so go and download Pokemon Quest, give that a try. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. If you can find my reaction to the trailer, should be on the YouTube channel now, but that's why this took so long to start, so my bad. There's so much to talk about. First of all, like you said, I think, Paul, you mentioned that you liked the visual style.
Yeah. I
was a little unsure because I kind of wanted to get away from this kind of top-down isometric view, but after seeing it in motion, I was like, you know what? This looks pretty great. I'm kind of okay with this. So,
like the first time on like the map where you see a Pokemon just run around in the wild. Actually, just the first time I saw the trainer with the Pokemon on their head. Like, it just gave me goosebumps. I was so excited, and I loved it so much.
Dream Drop's making some notes about the art style, saying Pokemon Go, but Switch. I don't think anyone expected this. The art style is a little grainy and weirder than the 3DS games. Like, it has that Ocarina of Time 3D fake shading on textures where it's all brown. If you look closer, the graphics look like they're lifted right out of Pokemon Go. Like, the Pokemon models themselves look like they came right out of Pokemon Go with the same kind of, like, flat look to it. There's a little bit more lighting going on with a little, like you said, fake shadowing. But overall, I think it looks nice. It comes together really well. So the things that we know, this is a remake of Pokemon Yellow. That is confirmed. It is true. And it'll come in 2 varieties with Pikachu and Eevee. I guess one of the things I want to say is, like, one of the things that, like, stood out to me right off the bat was couch co-op. What?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely playing with that whole, like, duality of the Joy-Cons, you know? I don't think this is the last time we'll see it. We saw it with Snipper Clips. We see it with this game. What other games have we seen it with? 1-2 Switch, obviously.
But the type of game that this is, you just wouldn't think it lends itself to this kind of multiplayer.
Right. Also, is this online? Can I play the same thing online?
They didn't actually mention online features at all.
They kind of just showed 2 people playing next to each other, which is cool. I want that. But also, I would love to see, that online capability too. So I could just like hit you guys up and we could go catch some Pokemon.
I mean, I have no doubt that it'll be there. You're still going to be battling with your friends online. It's to what degree you can actually explore the world,
right?
Though.
Right.
And hopefully it's everything. It is exploring with your friend from wherever you're at.
At the very least, if we get like over local wireless, because me and my wife, we're a 2-Switch household. We had already agreed that I would get Pokemon Pikachu and she would get Pokemon Eevee. But if we have the option to play this game together, well, I wanted Pikachu. I was raised on Yellow anyway.
Fair enough.
Are we going to be able to do that? Because that would almost deter us from buying more than one copy of this game. I would hope that there's at least local wireless. If there's online, that's ideal.
Right. Right. Yeah, I really hope, like, again, I like the option. I like, hey, even if you don't have a Switch, here, just take the second Joy-Con and we're going to catch a Pokemon together. That's great. That's fantastic. But I'd also like to see that functionality have online as well.
And with Switch Online coming out just months before, this could be one of their big pushes for Nintendo Switch Online. I want to take a quick moment to mention Conman RDW. He said, are you guys big Pokemon fans? Does this look too casual for you, or does it seem like it's the perfect entry level? I have a pretty solid foundation of an idea of what this is. They're trying to reel in all the people, obviously, who play Pokemon Go, but they're targeting lapsed Pokemon fans. That's exactly what this game is. It's a remake of Yellow, which is Generation 1. It prominently features Pikachu and Eevee, 2 of the most popular and recognizable Pokemon out there. You even see Mewtwo in the trailer. They are definitely targeting lapsed Pokemon fans and Gen 1ers such as myself. I've kept up with the Pokemon series, but Generation 1 just holds a special place in my heart. So I'm targeted too, I guess. What do you guys think?
Personally, like, parts of it seemed a little more on the casual side than I would have liked. Like you, I'm not extremely hardcore with Pokemon. I don't like battle online, and I don't have it as much of a social experience as much as it is the single player, the story. It's still there. I'm still excited to play this. It's not 100% what I was looking for, what I want to play, but a lot of what I've seen is moving in the right direction, and I do want to see some of this maybe work into the main line moving forward. And so this is kind of, for me, it's an interesting testing ground. I think they're just going to play around with it, see what people think, see if they like having Pokemon just, on the world map and choosing your encounters versus just random encounters.
For sure. One of the things that stood out to me was just how prominently featured Pokemon Go is in this trailer. Like, it opens with a guy playing Pokemon Go before going home. So they're really trying to push that. And that was one of the things we were all kind of worried about, was that level of integration. And one of the rumors that we heard about was that the Pokemon catching mechanic would be lifted from Go. And they were serious. It is literally how you catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
I mean, with this type of game, like, this is kind of the connected game to Pokemon Go. This isn't the next mainline entry. And so I think going into this, that was a frightening idea, a frightening concept, because we thought, hey, this is Gen 8, or, this is the future. This is the direction they are absolutely going with this. And that's not really the case. We still have that next game in 2019. So I'm not as concerned about it. I'm actually more interested now in seeing how that functions in this Gen 1 remake and see if I like it. If it's something that I want to maybe either have another game of this variety or just kind of getting a general sense of how I feel about it by playing it.
Sure.
Yeah. I think this is also just an extra layer for people to revisit Pokemon Go. Like, if this was a mainline Pokemon game, a lot of this would be like, what the heck? No, stop. But because it's a spin-off, and I'm watching the trailer again, and this isn't, it is Pokemon. It's so much Pokemon, right? But it isn't Pokemon at the same time. So it'll just be interesting to see like how much Pokemon is really in this game, which there's a lot of it, but how far it goes, because there does look to be a little bit there. It doesn't look complex, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of like questions that arise from this, you know, are there still going to be like traditional levels and leveling up from battle? What do the battles look like? Are the battles going to be frequent? Is it going to be more about just kind of exploring and catching as many different Pokemon as you can?
We got a couple glimpses of the battling, and the battling looks to just be intact the way that we know it. With like it had minimal UI on the screen. I thought it actually looked quite nice. And like when you're playing with a co-op player, you both get to use a Pokemon, even if your opponent only has one, which I thought was interesting. I hope playing with a second player doesn't just make it easy mode. Not that Pokemon games aren't already easy, but that would kind of deter me on one hand from playing it with a person.
I'm hoping it's not like you give the unplugged controller to your little brother and let him think he's playing. I'm hoping that there is like actual meaningful experience behind that. It's not just like, hey, we're on the same world together, woo. But it's still like essentially just a single player experience. Like I'm hoping that there is something more to it.
They say right here on the website, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee are based on Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition, which first launched in Japan in '98. These updated versions have been reimagined to make most of the unique capabilities of the Nintendo Switch. So, like, that right there tells me, hey, this is a Pokemon game. Maybe with just a couple new things that we haven't seen before. So I feel like they focused on the things that are new because they need to get that out of the way. Like everything that's the same, that's not going to be new information to us anyway. I think this was the right approach. And I think Dream Drop said in the chat, let me be perfectly honest, I'm glad this was not shown at E3. It's easier to kill people's expectations now before the expo happens, where everyone will literally cry if they don't get what they want. I don't think this would have been a poor choice to show at E3, because I do think we're still seeing this at E3. I'd be shocked if we didn't. But revealing it beforehand does take away some of that, jarring new stuff we haven't seen before. Let's have a mini freak out panic mode on the internet right now.
I mean, it was definitely a good idea. I mean, like I was saying earlier, like up until this morning, there was no indication that this was like different from the next like core game. For all we knew, we were just getting this one game and this was it. And so it was just kind of a revelation this morning. Hey, there's a different core experience coming in 2019.
They were very smart to tell us that.
If we went into E3 and then we started seeing this without having that like prefaced for us, I could see where people would be very upset and just kind of, run off with it before they get a chance to reel it back in and explain.
Yeah, I don't think I'm personally one of those people. I was largely impressed by what I saw. But like, if you go back to our Pokemon speculation discussion, we were all, rooting for Gen 8. We come to find out that that's not happening, but I'm honestly not all that upset. Even if they hadn't told us it was coming, I think I would have been okay with this.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is fine. I mean, if Pokemon, like a core Pokemon game is all you were looking forward to this year, I mean, you might be disappointed, but there's a lot of other games, even on Switch, For example, we're going to get a new Animal Crossing this year, duh.
Hopefully we get Smash Bros. Too.
Right.
That'd be a
shock. So, and I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan Pokemon in the fan, Pokemon fan in the world. So it's easy for me to like step back and say like, this is okay. This is different.
Mm-hmm.
They're clear about it. Like it's not the same. And if you're looking for a really traditional Pokemon game, it's on its way. These are not in place of it. You know, it's just this is what we've also been doing. So I think this is a good thing. I don't know if I'll pick it up. We'll see. We'll see. I just want to know more.
Fair enough. I think if this was like all we were getting, for the most part, I'd be 90% down with it. There's just like a couple of things. I picture the catching mechanic and throwing the Joy-Con and whatnot will get old. It got old for me sitting at the phone, doing the circles and.
Yeah, and they didn't really seem to share any other way to catch Pokemon. Like, can I play this game with a Pro Controller?
I would like that. I'd also like the option to have like a traditional battle with Pokemon. And so like still have them on the hub world, still choose my battles and catch them and whatnot, but do it in more of the traditional sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like we battle Pokemon at all. At least in the wild. So that's one of the most drastic changes that we'll be experiencing here.
I mean, besides that though, like in our previous discussions about what we want the next Pokemon game to look like for Switch, this is pretty darn close to it. This is a world that is populated by Pokemon, and you can tell that they're actually part of this world. You get to see the Pokemon on screen. You get to choose which ones you go after.
And we predicted co-op.
Yeah.
How did we do that?
Magic.
We're on point. But I mean, largely, like, this is going to be probably one of the most lively Pokemon worlds. And I really look forward to this.
That's the hope.
I want to say there was like one shot, and I mean this is still out of context, but the trainer was riding on Charizard, and I depends on the degree of control you get over Charizard, but that's a dream come true. If you can actually just like fly around or on Charizard's back and just like use that to travel versus like the bike, like that's so awesome. It gives me chills just thinking about it.
There was even a shot where a trainer was riding an Onix, and it was just like almost cut off on the top of the screen because Onix is so tall. So yeah, I'm down with all that kind of stuff. They're bringing elements of the anime into the games, which is super cool. And
that's what we needed.
I guess we should take a moment then to, since all the rumors were true, Pokemon Red and Blue are going to be in this game and will be involved in the story in some way. So like if you're worried about these games, like I don't think like they're going to cater all of this to a casual fan base. Like there's going to be some stuff here for you.
Yeah. I view this as like the more centralized Pokemon Go. So a little less casual, a little less hardcore. This is somewhere kind of in the middle, so it's for everyone.
This is why Niantic didn't add training and battles to to Pokemon Go.
To Pokemon Go, right.
Absolutely.
Game Freak came in and said no. And now Niantic has an awful reputation.
Wait a minute.
So
I mean, they're going to have their vindication, they're still in a way going to have that there. The question just to me becomes, are they going to add that to the mobile version as part of the experience? Is it going to be something where you have to buy the Switch version of it in order to actually have those battles, but you still have that like connectivity between the two versions?
Yeah. One thing I saw like Josiah was worried about is that you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go, which is something I was pretty outspoken about not wanting. It seems like they get sent to Pokemon Go Park, which might exist separately from just your Pokemon you own.
I'm hoping that becomes like the Safari Zone.
Yeah.
Where you can go through and you have the opportunity to catch Pokemon that you've placed there from your mobile game. So you still have to go and catch it.
Go.
But
yeah, but I think at the same time, like, this isn't a core title. You know, they've made that very clear. And so, like, it's built around the fact that Pokemon Go exists, right? And that you can go out and you can catch your Pokemon, and then you can come home, and then you can continue catching Pokemon on your TV and just, you know, doing that whole Pokemon thing like all the time if you want, you know? If you want to bring your Switch, you can bring your Switch, you can bring your phone, and they can interconnect in that way as well. Just, yeah.
So are people in rural areas still out of luck?
I would hope not, since I live in a rural area.
Maybe this is like a different opportunity. Can you transfer it back, you know?
Well, they showed in the trailer where it looked like they transferred a Pokemon from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee actually backwards into Pokemon Go.
Right.
Which is apparently a new Pokemon we've never seen before.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, you know, if that's the case, I think that's fine. I think this sounds like a great way to build an experience.
It's like they're tying them together without completely tying the knot. Like the laces are loose.
Right.
The thing I really want to know, kind of looking at the Pokeball Plus, is that the name of the accessory?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to know if you can use Pokemon Go on your phone as kind of a substitute for that, because part of that was it being a Pokewalker.
The Pokeball Plus works as a Pokemon Go Plus in the case of Pokemon Go.
I mean, I have a Pokemon Go Plus too, so
you essentially have
use
one
that
now.
with the. Okay.
I think you're on the right track with the Pokewalker, though. It looks like you can train your Pokemon by keeping them on you, and apparently the Pokeball will rumble and make sounds. We even saw that in the trailer. To what extent that goes to, is this going to be like a Tamagotchi kind of thing? I don't know.
I mean, I still probably will end up picking up this accessory just because it adds that other bit of depth to it, because you're actually, it makes you Ash. You got the physical Pokeball that you get to throw to catch your Pokemon, and that it's a stupid little thing. But it would add just, this much more to the experience.
I want to say that it was announced at 4,980 yen, which is $50 US.
That's a lot.
For the Pokeball Plus alone. That's a lot of money.
I feel like they probably should have gone with the 30 for the Pokemon Go Plus.
You can still buy a Pokemon Go Plus, I'd imagine. Maybe not have the features for the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, but... yeah, there's a lot of questions we're left with. Thankfully, within 2 weeks, we'll probably have most of the answers.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time till all these crazy questions we have will get answered.
We'll probably see this game extensively played on the Treehouse Live, which I very much look forward to seeing.
Right.
Oh, same.
And is this?
But at least we have like a realistic timeline for what we're expecting of Pokemon. Now that Pokemon's like the elephant in the room is kind of resolved for the most part. Now we can kind of look forward to what else is coming from Nintendo.
Starbucks.
So this is probably their big holiday game, and that means that Super Smash Brothers is probably not coming out in November. So I think that September date that we were talking about is still
October.
happening. I would not be surprised about October either. Dream Drop Source says, wait, I don't know how I missed this. Did you guys see the Pokeball? I just rewatched the trailer and noticed this suddenly. We actually just finished talking about that, as it turns out. Just know that it will likely cost $50 by itself if we are to base it on the Japanese price.
I got it, guys. You buy a plastic Pokeball, and then you buy the Pokemon Go Plus, and you put it inside the plastic one, and I got the Pokeball Go Plus.
I guess we should point out that you can control.
Doesn't have the control stick though.
You can play Pokemon Go, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with the Pokeball as a controller.
I think that's a huge appeal because like you can use both. You can use it for both, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you're big on Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, like you're gonna buy one of these and then just like carry it on you. And
if you want to be Ash.
I guess they're trying to justify that steep price tag based on the fact that you can play the game with the Pokeball itself.
Right.
That's still a lot of money. And
I'm still
that's one
assuming...
Joy-Con.
Yeah, and it's not mandatory. You know, nobody's forcing anybody to buy this. You can still do everything you need to do without the Pokeball. But it is a nice little item for those who are willing to spend the money.
The thing to consider too is how much is the game going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be a full $60 title, but what if it's a little cheaper than that, and you know that's your enticement to go buy
$100 game bundle. That's my guess.
I mean, more importantly, for that $50, do you get the HD Rumble?
It does rumble.
That's the important question.
It rumbles, we know that. It lights up too. It's all shiny, and it makes sounds that I will probably want to mute in public.
But is it the fancy Rumble? Well, that's the question.
I'd be surprised if it
that's
wasn't.
That's what makes it worth $50 or not.
Yeah.
So I'm
looking at some of these pages. Apparently, pre-orders are up as of like an hour ago.
Do we have a price?
It's saying $60 for these.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Let's see.
Whoa, did you guys know the Break Room Arcade is live talking about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee?
You wouldn't believe that, would you?
Yeah.
Ace the Gamer Dude says, well, since it's used as a controller, that's not terrible, but I'll stick to the Joy-Con. I would like to play with my Pro Controller, ideally, I think, because that has gyro in it. I'm okay with moving my entire controller if I'm going to throw a Pokeball.
Yeah, I have a hard time they wouldn't give you that option.
I'm really hoping that when it comes to like throwing the Pokeball, you can just flick the stick.
It doesn't look like you have to aim necessarily. It looks like you just
if you're using the Pro Controller, though, it's way worse to like than to just.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't like an alternative input method to catch a Pokemon. Because, well, think about it. If you're playing this in handheld mode, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, it's the same. You can.
I'm not going to
wiggle my entire Switch to catch a Pokemon.
Ready, set, just chuck the Switch.
As someone who played Odyssey like exclusively in handheld.
Oh, did you?
It's not fun. Yeah, I had no other choice. Like I didn't have room for a dock around my TV with all the other crap. And so like there were a lot of things that I couldn't do in that game.
Man, you need DLC.
But I learned to do a certain amount of things with just the whole
controller, the whole Switch. Oh my gosh.
Do you guys like my Pokeball?
No,
it's
do you
red.
like mine?
Let's see. So those are pretty much all the details that they've
like
released
VR.
so far. I'm on their website right now. It says release date November 16th, 2018. Genre RPG platform Nintendo Switch players 1 to 2. So it is confirmed 2 players total. And it also does not mention, you know, whether that's online, local, or whatever.
I mean, for the most part, like the information we got is enough, especially given like what time of year it is.
Yeah,
we'll know more soon.
Yeah, is it just me or is like the box art? The box art, like the art for Pikachu and Eevee, is adorable, but the background is like super bland and generic.
Yeah.
And Pikachu and Eevee don't even like exist in the background. They're just on top of it. That's an interesting choice.
They could have handled that better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really like it.
Well, I love the art, like the art itself. I just thought that was a weird choice.
Yeah.
Anything else about this that we haven't touched on?
Well,
there's not a lot of details right yet.
No, I mean, this is...
I mean, I had a question more related to the next core title, but...
Bring it up. This is the time to talk about it.
When do you think we'll see that game? Is that going to be something that they talk about at E3, and then this is something that we get a few more details about this, but it blends into that
I don't think we hear about this game again until next spring.
Oh, you're talking about the main line?
The 2019 game?
Yeah, I don't think we'll hear about it again. I think everything will be Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. They're treating this as a full $60 release.
I don't think they don't want to divide their consumers either.
Right.
Because they don't want to miss out on any money that they could get from people buying these games.
Right.
By having them think about the next one.
Here's a new Pokemon mobile game, and that's also on Switch. And then here is a new almost mainline Pokemon game.
I don't think it'll get announced in the way that we saw it here. I think next time it will probably be a proper Pokemon Direct. They just had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
The nature of this announcement was really strange. Doing a live presentation for press and just live tweeting it to everyone else. I don't understand the purpose for that.
Yeah.
Like, if they were expecting a negative reaction, I don't think they got it necessarily. It seems like people are largely positive. I'm positive about this.
Yeah, they kind of like drooled it out, and then everybody else was like, okay, we gotta find where this is, right?
I think they probably were expecting some backlash to this.
Yeah, so give out a little bit and then see what people do. You know?
I think that was the good thing about all the leaks too, is that like by now we've heard so much about this, and it was just like it's a relief to finally see it and know what this is. And I think having that time to have like get acquainted with that idea and now see it in action X amount later, most people are kind of over like the initial like, oh crap, what is this? I don't want this. This sounds awful, you know.
At the same time, it kind of sucks that like we really got nothing new out of this at all. Like nothing out of this was new.
Yeah, everything was like, hey, this lines up with this leak.
All of it was leaked. Even the Pokeball was leaked.
Yeah. Like all of this stuff that we thought wasn't true and then we thought was true was like really, really true. Like all of it.
That most recent leak that came out that was like detailing a bunch of stuff and saying all the previous rumors were fake. Well, that guy was obviously wrong.
But I don't know what you guys are talking about. We got tons of new stuff. We got Pokemon Quest.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
I guess we should touch on that quickly. That's the most
compelling portion of this whole presentation.
Pokemon Quest is a mobile game on Nintendo Switch, essentially, that is designed pretty similarly to Pokemon Rumble in terms of gameplay. I think the art style is a heck of a lot better than what they had for Pokemon Rumble. Those Pokemon Rumble are ugly games, so I'm going to be completely blunt about that.
They're like all polygonal and they're inspired. So now this is like, oh, that's like low poly, but it's like, it's cute.
It reminds me of Crossy Road a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like you can level up, set your party. It's free to start. I don't know anything about the actual like financial side of things, like how do you pay for stuff? Can you keep playing the game for free? You know, those kinds of questions. Because having a pay-to-play model game on Nintendo Switch is certainly interesting.
It's different, yeah.
That's not to say that Nintendo 3DS didn't have like 3 Pokemon games that were free to start. We had Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Battle Trose.
I just see white.
Yeah, sorry, Logan, you got to get that closer.
This is the game. It's just.
Do you move around with the joysticks, or you just tap the screen?
Nope. I'm not doing anything. He just runs after him, and then you got a few attacks down here. This is tackle.
Oh, so the game plays itself, for those of you who aren't aware.
It's a mobile game. It's a mobile game.
It's even more of a mobile game than we've gotten in the past.
It's like I'm playing on a big old mobile phone.
I'm really confused about that. Why?
I don't know why you should be confused about it, because it's just a mobile game that also exists on Switch, because why not?
You could have it at work. You could have your Switch in tabletop mode just playing itself, and you could interact with it periodically while you're working.
I imagine that there's probably some way to connect online and have the same version like on your Switch and then on your phone.
And also getting a Pokemon game out there in any fashion this quickly on Switch is probably a good move on their part in preparation in 6 months for when the 2 new games come out.
Yeah.
So obviously this is not something targeted at us. This is targeted at the casual.
Yeah. And
that's okay. Saying, like, if they built this with the Switch in mind, you think they would have like made it a little less like play itself?
It's a mobile game.
It's just a mobile game.
You can't expect a ton, you know?
Maybe it'll actually come to mobile like next year.
Then it would make sense to me. Until then.
Well, why would they have all this Pokemon Go integration with the main games? It's almost like they're treating the Switch as a smartphone that doesn't have any wireless capabilities outside of the home. I think they're still playing to the Switch's strengths with something like Pokemon Quest.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those iPad games that your 6-year-old cousin who wants to play games on your phone is going to play.
Right.
That's definitely where it's targeted. So it's a good that they opened the conference with that, just to get it out of the way. Honestly, they could have just dropped it on the eShop and posted it on Twitter, and I think people would have downloaded it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But they had it, so they said it. Overall, I think I was pretty impressed with this showing. They gave us confirmation that we get a game next year. The 2 new Pokemon games are coming out this November. That's incredibly exciting. It's a great way to end the year for Nintendo Switch. This is going to make a lot of money.
And then with the mainline Pokemon
Yeah.
game the next year, everybody's like, okay, guess we gotta get our Switch now because there's so many games, and then we'll have Pokemon next year. You know?
And to the people who are worried, I understand why you're worried, but when that trailer started, it said Game Freak on it. I think we're okay.
yeah,
I mean, like I said earlier, like of all the things we've mentioned that we wanted to see Pokemon try and do, like 90% of them was in that trailer.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
that's incredibly exciting to me. Like, there was so much
We got a lot right.
good in this trailer that I want to see like move on to that next core experience. I mean, maybe not necessarily flicking the Joy-Con every time I want to catch a Pokemon. Or,
Oh,
you know,
I think
certain things
2019
like that, but-
Pokemon will be a significant evolutionary jump for the series.
right.
We'll see
Yeah.
elements of what we got here, but it'll look different.
What time we've been given already. So having that extra time filled with this kind of content, I think this is nothing but good. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. Be patient.
It's
We'll get
coming. It's just, it'll be a bit. We're getting a remake of Yellow, which is a great game as it is. I think there's a lot to look forward to here. Any other questions or comments, concerns, thoughts, discussion points?
Which version should I get?
Well, I'm getting Pokemon Pikachu.
I think we need a Twitter poll.
For Paul?
For Paul.
Let the people decide.
And Logan, you're
My fate.
you're undecided about whether you'd even purchase this.
Yeah, I'm undecided whether I want this game at all. And that's not a bad thing. That's just like, okay, again, there's a million other games coming out this
And
year.
you're not
I only
necessarily
have
a
11.
Pokemon fan as it is.
Right. I call myself a fan, but I'm a pretty light fan. You know.
I mean, that's coming right
This
after
might be your
Spider-Man.
game then. This might
He's
be
still gonna
targeted
be
at
playing
you.
Spider-Man though. He's still gonna be playing Spider-Man at that point.
So it looks fun. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I have a lot of Spider-Man to play this year, and I don't know if I'll be able to fit in anything other than Spider-Man once Spider-Man comes out in September.
Ace the Gamer Dude says he's getting Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Tell us what you're getting in the comments below. Like this video if you liked what you heard here. Go check out the reaction, my live reaction to the trailer, over on the channel right now. Make sure to come back on Friday for more of the Breakdown podcast. We'll probably touch on this again. Ace the Gamer Dude will be joining us as a special guest for that show, so you can look forward to that. Yeah. And then come back in 2 weeks. We're hitting E3 hard. We'll be live streaming every press conference
hard.
except for EA. We're hitting the Nintendo stuff hard. Nintendo Tuesday, I guess was what we'll call it. We'll probably be streaming
Nintendo
pretty much the
Tuesday.
whole day. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Comment RDW says he's getting Pokemon Pikachu. I'm right there with you. We got 2 on Pikachu, 2 on Eevee, 1 undecided.
Pokemon,
One on Twitter
let's
poll.
go Squirtle.
Go to look us up on Twitter,
Yeah,
Breakroom
let's go
Arcade.
Squirtle. I do let's go
And
Squirtle.
no promises yet. I might decide for myself, but
Oh.
I think I might need help too.
Chaos Control 93 says she's getting both. I guess
That's the spirit.
we can talk about this a little bit more on Friday. What's going to be different between the 2 versions outside of Pikachu and Eevee. But you can look forward to more of that at the end of the week on Friday, 7:30 Central Time. Be there. Well, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Not in the morning because we're not crazy.
Can I make a prediction real quick?
Do it.
I
Make a
just
prediction.
thought of this. So that new Pokemon that they teased for launch with this game is going to be that normal type Eevee evolution.
I was thinking that too.
Evian.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
Please Eevee. Let's get that normal type evolution. Want to thank you guys for watching. Don't break your backs. Breaking the games, but for now, break time's over.